pork tenderloin might be one of the most underrated dishes of all time. Let's make it. First, we're going to make our side dish. It's going to be roasted potatoes and onions. We're going to start by cubing up some russet potatoes in about 1-inch cubes and then thinly slicing about 1/4 of a sweet onion. We're going to toss that into a baking tray and cover with extra virgin olive oil. We're also going to chop 2 cloves of garlic and add that to the mix, as well as our herbs. Today I'm using fresh thyme, as well as fresh rosemary, and then a little bit of dried oregano. But you could use whatever herbs you have on hand at the time. This is just what I chose. Once you've added your herbs, you're ready to season with salt and pepper. Make sure you put a significant amount of salt. You gotta be generous. Potatoes take a lot of seasoning. Mix that all up and then pop into an oven at 400 degrees for 45 minutes. It's also important that you stir it occasionally just so it doesn't stick or burn. Now moving on to our tenderloin, we're using a Berkshire Pork Tenderloin from Wild Fork. Make sure to pat that dry and trim silver skin and excess fat. And we're keeping the seasoning simple today. It's garlic powder, salt, and pepper. No more, no less. Next, we're going to toss some neutral, high smoke point oil into a stainless steel pan, and then we're ready to drop our tenderloin in. This is just so we can get a nice crust on it before we finish it off in the oven. Once you've got your crust, you're ready to toss it in an oven at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. At around this time, you're going to be able to pull out your potatoes, which should be nice and golden brown. We're going to top it with a little bit of unsalted butter. If you aren't finishing your potatoes like this, what are you doing? It's absolutely delicious. After the 20 minutes have passed, you're ready to pull out your tenderloin and set it aside to rest. You need to let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes to keep all the juices inside. While we're waiting, we're also going to make a quick sweet onion pan sauce. We're going to pull off a few layers of sweet onion and then mince it very, very fine, almost to a paste. Once you've done that, you're ready to toss it into the pan and start scraping that fond off the bottom. Once you've finished that and scraped it all off, you're ready to toss in some dry red or white wine and then reduce it down to almost a glaze. I didn't reduce it as much as I would have liked to in this video, but I will do a full video on pan sauces in the near future. Next, we're going to turn the heat off and add in some cold unsalted butter. This helps to make a nice, silky, creamy, and rich sauce. We're also going to add in a few more herbs. This is rosemary and thyme. And then thicken it up a little bit, and your sauce is done. Now it's time for my favorite part. We're going to slice up our tenderloin. I had trouble keeping this together because it was so tender, not to mention how juicy it was. Just look at this. Honestly, this may be one of my favorite dishes that I've ever made. Pork tenderloin's so underrated, but it just needs to be cooked properly. And these potatoes were amazing as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. Try this recipe out and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Get us to that 5,000 subscriber goal. Peace, guys.